Hills. And I can tell you, he's got one of the toughest jobs out there. He deals with a lot of our animal complaints. He's out there. He's on the weekends. He's always getting a call. Besides coming every day at work and not calling a sick day, he comes in on the weekends as well. And my secretary, Sherry Trout. Again, I just want to thank these officers for dedicating, coming to work every day. And it might seem small to some people even to talk about in the city of Millville, but it's important. And you know what? If we do this every year, maybe it's going to boost other officers, maybe not to burn as much sick time.
Don't go anywhere. Stand by. As the chief has stated about these men and women here who do not use sick time, well, the chief is one of those people also. So, Chief, on the behalf of the city of Millville, I'd like to give you also a certificate of achievement of not using a sick day this year. So congratulations. You guys and lady can sit down.
Okay, I'm going to be as quick as I can, but I want to make sure I give these guys credit. This is going to be for my canine officers. As you know, canine officers are used for everything under the sun. It's for riot control, when we do search warrants, drugs, everything in the world they're used for. Some things you might not be aware of is we do use them for the United States Postal Service. And I'm going to read you a little thing from them, and it's kind of interesting how much drugs and seizure money they've gotten off the street. Chief, I'm just going to read it verbatim. Chief Farabelle would like to extend my sincere thanks to you and your department in utilizing your canine officers over the past years. As you know, my group is responsible for the jurisdiction investigation of narcotics shipping through the United States mail. During this past year, Officer John Butsky and Mike Couchy have been instrumental in assisting us in accomplishing this mission. To date, your officers are directly responsible for seizure of following narcotics, ultimately destined to be distributed to the communities in the Delaware Valley and your area. 446 pounds of marijuana was seized. 28 kilos of cocaine was seized. 21 pounds of crystal meth. 4.25 ounces of heroin, and $44,430 in narcotic proceeds. As you can see, these significant amounts of illegal narcotics, which thanks to your officers were able to be seized and prevent from being distributed. Thanks again for all your assistance, and look forward to another successful year with your department. Just to give you a little idea on that 446 pounds of marijuana equals a total of $2,230,000. 28 kilos of cocaine is $2,800,000. The 21 pounds of crystal meth was $147,000, and the 4.25 ounces of heroin was $1,200. A total amount of over $5 million were seized because of our two canine officers. John Butsky, Mike Couchy, can you please come up? Okay, another thing I wanted to recognize, obviously the Millville Police Department is broken down into Alpha, Bravo, Delta, Charlie squads. There's 4 squads. And we also have a 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. shift. And I want to recognize the officers who did outstanding work throughout the year with the most arrests and most motor vehicle summonses. Another thing, we don't want to gauge, we're working hard we're not going to arrest our way out of our problems, but you got to give guys recognition who go out there every day and hustle and make arrests and doing some summonses out there. So on the Alpha Squad, I'm going to the leader of Alpha Squad. Was very interesting, one of our brand new officers, Officer Brian Orndorff. Officer Orndorff is very new to our department. Not long ago, we swore him in. And just to give you, I don't think he has 6 months here. He's already got 94 summonses and 59 arrests for us for the year. For Bravo Squad, for motor vehicle summons, it's going to go to Nelson Furr. Can you please come up here? He received 127 summonses. And for most arrests on that squad is going to be Joe Dixon. Please come up. Congratulations, Joe. Good job. For Charlie Squad, this guy did it all by himself, summonses and arrest. Here's another guy. We all call him Trio. He's on Charlie Squad. And I will tell you his numbers in 1 second. Israel Trio, please come up here. And here's another young officer who's not been on the force very long. He hustles every day, comes to work, he does his job. He's one of those supervisors, pleasures to work with. He's quiet, just does what he's told, and he's a great kid to work with. But he ended up with 102 arrests and 101 summonses, so he did a fine job on both sides. Delta Squad. This goes out to Joshua Schmidt. Can we please come up here? And Josh, you might as well stay up here, and we'll talk about you a little bit further. I was going to do this a little bit different, but Josh, not only did he win the Delta Squad, he actually did the overall arrest for the whole year for all the squads. Here's a kid also that is very young on the force, and he does everything he's told. Sometimes when you look at a resume, I know he wanted to go up to the detective bureau. Of course, you have to do things based on seniority. You have to do on work performance, and I've always told these guys from the beginning, I'm playing the best 11. I don't care who you are, how old you are, or who you're friendly with. If you want the spot, you're going to earn it. But I tell you, when I read his resume, he impressed me right there. So I'm not telling you you're going to get a spot, but he's on the right track. So very happy with his performance, and he was one of the overall leaders. He got it for the motor vehicle summonses. And he also got it for most arrests, so congratulations to you. And I'm sorry, I got to tell, Officer Nelson got this again. He got another award for most summonses for the year. I'm sorry. We'll give it to you later. Okay, for the 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. squads, well, that's going to be John Butsky. He got that award as well. So come on up, Johnny. Congratulations, John. I promise. I'm moving on, guys. I'm going to be done here shortly. Here's another recognition I want to talk about, and I'm going to just ask him to come up right now. Jason Vinzinski. Jason Vinzinski's a senior vet officer. He's worked with narcotics. He's working on our detective bureau. Very, very good kid to work with. I mean, very sharp. And guys are going to yell at me later. He's one of my boys, but Since he's came on, he's been squared away. He was detached to the FBI, and when he was there, they did a major seizure of narcotics, and it was a big sting that went down in Atlantic City, and it filtered all through Cumberland County. So I'm going to read another thing that they gave to me in respect and request the attached Valor Award request be submitted to Jason Vinzinski. The above officer, and there were several in this task force to work together, but Jason was among them. The above officers' agents were assigned to the FBI Safe Streets Task Force, and where they led detectives/agents to a 5-month investigation. That accumulated an arrest of 16 individuals involving a drug traffic organization with ties to Sinaloa drug cartel in Mexico. As results of this investigation, authorities executed 13 simultaneous arrest warrants in Atlantic City, Hamilton Township, Summer Point, and part of this crackdown. Arrests were also made in Pennsylvania and California. Seized during this search warrants were 40 bags of heroin, more than a kilogram of crack cocaine, 2 pounds of marijuana, about $125 in cash, 8 handguns, 1 shotgun, 2 tasers, ammunition, 3 bulletproof vests, 10 motor vehicles, and the contents of this and their bank accounts, and 8 parcels of real estate. Seized during this investigation was $160 in cash, 10 kilos of heroin, and 4 kilos of powder cocaine. In total, street value drugs seized during this investigation and execution of search warrants was an equivalent of $2.25 million. Based on the joint investigation by the County Prosecutor's Office and U.S. Attorney's Office in Camden and local, state, federal law enforcement narcotic network distributed large quantities of heroin, powder cocaine, and crack cocaine in Atlantic City, and after pursuing the drugs directly from Sinaloa cartel in Mexico. The network then routed the drugs through California into New Jersey. So it was a great job. He was on a long-term investigation with that. We want to recognize him for some called a Drug Buster Award. But to Jason, congratulations. I got one more thing tonight, and this is one of the highest awards one could probably get in my book. Just recently, also with the overdoses we're seeing in heroin, maybe to the rescue squad and EMS, this is an everyday occurrence where they bring someone back to life. But usually, we're always there second on the scene. When someone calls someone, it's usually the rescue squad or 911. But just recently, in November, we got a call that there was an overdose. And the officer responded out there with his 2 supervisors. One supervisor is Officer Twig, Sergeant Twig back there, and Sergeant Carl Hager. This individual went into immediate action and got our Narcan and noticed this person, assessed it, and saw this person was blue in the face, not responding, and probably going to die. He distributed Narcan, brought this person back to life, and this person is living here today. And it's my great honor to introduce Officer Gavin Phillips. For the public, like I said, I think this is one of the highest honors you can get, and it's called a life-saving award. And I hope this instills our officers to, when we deal with an overdose, to utilize Narcan more and get out there. But to you contribute, you saved a life, and congratulations. Thank you for your time. Thank you, officers, for coming out and supporting your other officers, and be safe tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you see within the Millville Police Department and leadership. As you see the chief, you see sergeants, you see lieutenants here. This is a brotherhood. Although there are female officers, there's a brotherhood, and this is what it's about. When we take criticism, and I'm going to place myself in it because I'm former and still law enforcement, it really hits us hard because these men and women go out there every day to protect all of us and put their life on the line. And I think that's tremendous that they took the honor to raise that hand and become law enforcement officers, and specifically in the city of Millville. So I'd like to congratulate every one of you. I'd like to congratulate everyone that got an award. But guess what? You're doing an outstanding job. You got a great leader. Continue what you're doing, and we'll change this city around. Thank you. All right, we have another presentation. I'd like for Officer Cott to come up. And is he here, Rick? Oh, you're sitting down. That's why I didn't see it. And also Don Faraback. Officer Cott runs our PAL program, and New Jersey Motorsports Park would like to present PAL with something. So anybody represent? There we go. We're getting everybody up here. Don, you want to say something?
Good. Thanks, Mayor. Seems to be a special night for police officers. Congratulations to all of you, especially Gavin. Well, job well done, Gavin. Where are you? Congratulations, young man. We're here tonight. Garrett Kenyon, our NJMP chaplain, mentioned earlier about Coach for Kids, and once a year we do 500 children from 17 needy school districts in the county, and they get a brand new coat, hat, scarves, mittens, a warm meal, and a visit with Santa every year the first week of December. We've done it for 9 years, 500 children each time, 4,500 kids. But during the most recent event, Mayor Santiago and Billy Davis, Commissioner Davis, were present to help us out, and they approached me and the park about supporting another police event, meaning the Police Athletic League. And I understand, Rick, that you guys have really been notching it up. 100 and some kids came out for the Police Basketball League. So the mayor and Billy kind of put the squeeze on us and said they could use a little extra money. So we at the park came up with a $500 contribution for you. Use it wisely, and again, congratulations to all the men in blue and the ladies in blue.
Thank you, New Jersey Motorsports Park. Yeah, did you see Rick try to put that in his pocket? Don't try to cash that tonight either. All right, thank you so much, all of you in blue, and also your moms and dads and your family members that are here. Thank you for coming out, because as officers, we need all the support that we can get. So thank you.
Clear out. Yeah, they want to clear out.
All right, we'll go on with our meeting. Thank you for being patient. I know that our work session and our special meeting went a little bit longer, but we had to get some matters cleared up. And thank you to the commissioners. I think we did a fine job in the back. So after we had roll call, so what we'll do now is we'll go in right to our open public meeting statement. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, was advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by law. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Madam Clerk, are there any review changes to the agenda?
No, Mayor, there aren't.
Can we go right into minutes, please, for approval?
Motion to approve and dispense with the reading of the December 6, 2016 work session minutes and commission meeting minutes, and to proceed with the regular order of business.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Okay. Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion that the bills be paid.
Second.
Yes. Okay. Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes. We now open up this meeting for public comments on agenda items only. Anyone that would like to speak on an agenda item, you can step up to the podium, state your name and your address and your concerns in regards to an agenda item.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the commission. I did speak at the work session, but I just wanted to reiterate. Again, I'm Brian Hune. I am attorney for New Jersey Motorsports Park. My office address is 2327 New Road in Northfield. As I indicated during the work session, we're out here tonight as an abundance of caution. I think what happened at the work session showed we're, to use a colloquialism, we're on the same page on this. We have a number of employees and folks associated with New Jersey Motorsports Park who this is an important issue to, so I just wanted to reiterate. We were concerned about agenda item number 16, Roman numeral 2. That is the model noise ordinance that's being considered for a first reading tonight. One of the concerns we had was that there could be a strained reading that interpreted it to impact motorsports facilities like New Jersey Motorsports Park. I know that we spoke with Mr. Russell, who confirmed the same thing we learned when we spoke to the gentleman at the DP. This does not apply to motorsports facilities. And as I say, I appreciate Mr. Russell confirming that, and I believe that's what the commission's position is. Therefore, as long as there's an understanding that it doesn't apply, we are not objecting to its adoption tonight. So, with that, again, I want to thank the commission for your time, Mr. Russell for his research, and we appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Mayor.
Tim Cardy, Millville. The one was what the attorney just hit on was the noise ordinance, and I have a few questions. In the ordinance that you guys are proposing, it says about a noise control officer. Are we hiring somebody as a noise control officer for one? And then it says somebody about a noise control investigator.
We already have someone in the city that can do that and is
Okay.
certified to do that.
Okay, and then what about the noise control investigator?
Same person.
Okay, and I also noticed in the ordinance that's being proposed on this, there's nothing in here mentioning the police department doing noises.
This is specifically for the police department because we did not have an ordinance that cover like loud mufflers or loud music, and I'll allow Mr. Russell to speak on that a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, the law requires that all municipal ordinances regulating noise have to be approved by the DEP, and what we have on the books was not, so that's why it's necessary that this be adopted.
Okay.
And the state really doesn't give you much leeway. You have to, in fact, I think the clerk even has to sign a certification that we have not deviated from the model noise ordinance.
Okay. And then I noticed on page 7 about the lawn care equipment over 65 decibels. That's going to affect a lot of residents because, like myself, having a leaf blower, it's 70 decibels. And then my other concern is on page 9A, 8 p.m. and 8 a.m., no power equipment can't be used. That's over on the chart limit. Then page 9B, the federal holiday, they're counting it as the weekends. How does our commercial landscapers and our businesses fall under that, especially on the holidays if they can't do anything until after 9 a.m.? And that's it for that one. And then my second issue is the traffic regulations for the Lavoie, which, give me 1 second.
I think that's 16.3.
Yes, about the parking time limit, 15 minutes all hours. A couple issues I see with that is how's this going to affect the other businesses on High Street? If you're limiting them to 15 minutes at all times, what happens if my wife wants to go get a haircut and she's in there for a half hour? And what happens if another business says, hey, I want the same regulations? I think that's opening up a big can of worms. Then my other issue is who's going to handle it? Who's going to monitor the times?
We did discuss those very points at the work session today, and I guess we wanted input from the public of how they felt about it.
To me, I think it's just opening up a big can of worms. And my other one's about the loading and unloading ordinance 16.4. which according to the ordinance, the Lavoy wants to go ahead and make it a loading zone. But under the loading zone, it says unloading equipment, props, audio equipment, and other items necessary to operate the Lavoy Theater. We looked at Pittman Theater. They have no special parking. They have no loading zones in front of their building. And my other issue is, as we're spending a lot of money to repave High Street, it's going to be a hot day. We're going to have heavy trucks on the new asphalt. What kind of damage is that going to do to asphalt? And what about the other businesses? What happens if Winfield decides, as an example, hey, I don't want my trucks going in the back lot to unload. Why can't they park on High Street like everybody else? And again, you're taking away from parking spots for the normal people when we already don't have enough. And on them ones, my input's going to be real fast is, what has the Lavoy actually done for our city? I mean, they're not paying the bills. They're not going out of their way for us, and I don't think we should bend over and allow this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I always hate coming up after him because we don't always agree with things. I want you to know that we don't. It's Kim Carty, Millville. I also wanted to just kind of address the parking regulations that are being proposed to benefit the Lavoy at the expense of other businesses on High Street. I have some concerns about that. I took a look at the Lavoy schedule from January 1 to April 30th, about 120 days in that 4-month period. There's only about 30 shows that would potentially require some kind of temporary parking. So it is a little interesting, concerning to me that we're prepared to take spots away from High Street where there's already not enough parking on High Street and dedicate them solely to Lavoy. And then add on top of that these loading zone parking spaces, which are also proposed to be all hours, all times. I think that's a little unfair. There are other businesses on High Street that operate 7 days a week or 6 days a week and aren't, 30 days out of 120. So I would implore you to consider, is this at the benefit of one at the expense of many? And if it is, then it's not the right decision for the city to make today. That's not to say that there's not other solutions. There possibly are. But this one, this all hours, all times, 15 minutes, is a little restrictive, is far too restrictive, honestly. It's too much. It's giving away too much at the expense of many. So I would just encourage you to consider that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening, Angeline Broomholm, Millville. I just want to reiterate a little bit about what they said. I have an issue with the Lavoy even asking for anything. I mean, there's all posters downstairs for the Lavoy. They don't pay anything back to the city. My grandchildren will be paying for the free money they got. And now they want more. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right to other businesses in the area. I don't think it's right because they might not be here in 10 years. They're barely holding on now without all the free advertisement and the free, government money. And I don't have a loading zone in front of my house, and there was just a 4-car pileup in front of my house last week. I can't unload the groceries in front of my own home. So, and I don't live in a gorgeous, beautiful theater type, all fancy, that's on taxpayer dime. I don't pay a whole lot in taxes where I live, but I do pay them. And I don't think it's fair for everyone else to be able to say, oh, this is my spot. I want more from the city. The Lavoy has to stop asking the city to give, and start saying this is what we want to offer back to the city, and certainly not take parking away from anyone else who may use it. It's just not right. It's not right, especially for as little as they're open. I just agree with everyone else. It's something I'm opposed to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert Barrett, Millville. Just for the public input purpose, I'm against the parking spot for the Lavoy. As Angel said, they really haven't done much for us, and they keep on asking us to give, and nothing in return. The main thing that I want to talk about tonight is the noise ordinance. What I want to do is can you please consider changing the time? Table it for now, go back and just change the time. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a landscaper. You all know that. And there was a couple times this past season where it rained for 7 straight days, putting my lawn cut schedule back. And I had to cram 51 lawn cuts in 3 days. And there was no possible way that I could do that in 10 hours between 2 people. Lawn cuts are what puts the payroll in my business. And that short time frame, it's just not going to do it. I don't have a single day where I take it in at 6 p.m. I can't. There's no way for me to make money like that. And if you guys want to be friendly towards businesses, then you got to take that into consideration. You're gonna hurt the guy from Laurel Lake struggling to pay his bills and feed his family more than anything. So, I mean, just asking you, please take that into consideration and just, widen that time for me. Don't make me go in at 6. Make it more like 8. I can deal with 8. All right? Thank you.
Hey, Brock, does the state guideline allow for flexibility in the time?
The only thing we can do is we can eliminate those optional items, and I'll have to look at the ordinance to see if that provision that he's talking about that it would apply to a business would be optional or not.
Can we have an answer for the next meeting, Brock?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? I will close the public portion of this meeting concerning items on the agenda. Old business, please.
There's no old business, Mayor.
Petitions and letters.
Nope, no old business and no petitions letters.
Very good. Department of Public Works.
No change, Mayor.
Thank you. Department of Public Affairs.
Yeah, just a couple things. A couple weeks ago, I adopted the Department of Public Affairs from Commissioner Perry, and there's very good staff there, and it's not too many. It's very small but efficient staff. They've had a banner year serving the people. The foreclosure fees, the abandoned property registration fees, the rental registration fees are all way, way up, and they're bringing a ton of revenue into the city. Revenues that we're going to be able to use for different projects for law enforcement and other things citywide. So Commissioner Perry did a great job, and I'm fortunate to have a great staff there to help me out. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Department of Revenue and Finance.
Yes, we're continuing to work hard on the budget, so we're hoping there will be no tax increase again this year. And also, the city administrator is going to be starting, this is more for the commissioners, the department head meetings again. I will be attending them, but one other commissioner is invited to attend whenever they want to. We just have to figure out who it is among yourselves. I would also like to receive and file the tax collector's report for the month of November 2016.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perry?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Anything else?
Oh, I'm sorry, that was it. I'm sorry.
Department of Parks and Public Property.
All right, the winners of the holiday home lighting contest will receive their awards on the January 17th commission meeting. And the walking club is held every Tuesday and Thursday from 6:30 to 7:30 at Lakeside. And if there's no school, there's no walking. Leaf collection we need to address for a few minutes here. So far in November, we've collected, since November, 1,375 tons of loose leaves. We're still on the first pass, and we'll be making 2 passes through the city. So, we ask you to bear with us. Leaves fell kind of late. I would have loved to send somebody out to shake trees, but they told me I couldn't do that again, insurance people. Other than that, that's it.
Thank you. And Commissioner, I have to applaud you and also Wayne Gressman, because we received a lot of complaints, as you know, during the leaf pickup, that people weren't satisfied, but we were able to go out and take care of those situations. So Wayne Gressman did a great job.
Yeah, everybody wants it done right away.
Exactly, but you did a great job. Thank you. Department of Public Safety, I have a report here from Chief Lippincott. Total emergencies responded were 88. Year-to-date were 1,091. Breakdown for the month, the fire calls, structures were 6. Multi-alarm fires were 2. All hands fire were 1. Second alarms were 1, and third alarms were 0. Fire calls for vehicles were 1. Fire calls for brush, trash were 5. Rescue motor vehicle crashes were 24. Water and ice rescues were 0. Hazardous conditions, non-fire, were 11. General service assist to the public were 6. Good intent were 4, and false alarms were 27. Total man hours for emergencies were 422. Work details were 1. Drills and training were 2. Fire prevention, smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detector inspections for the month were 24. Year-to-date 276. Fire safety permits issued for the month were 3. Year-to-date there's 83. Life hazard fire inspections there were 45, and year-to-date was 97, and that was the fire department. And if I can get someone so we can read that.
Move to
It's a
receive
record.
and file.
Second?
Second.
Any comments? Roll call. Thank you.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perecka Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
We move right into ordinances on second reading, please.
Yeah, these are the ordinances on second reading. We have an ordinance amending the municipal code of the city of Millville, chapter 39, motor vehicle and traffic regulations, article 10, schedule 21, parking reserved for handicapped persons. And this is, I move these before the first reading ordinances, sort of like similar to how we do old business first, like Robert's Rules of Order. So I just letting you guys know the change.
Okay.
This one's adding High Street East beginning 42 feet south from the southerly curb line of Pine Street extending south for a distance of 20 feet, and repealing High Street East beginning 130 feet south from the southerly curb line of Pine Street extending south for a distance of 22 feet. I just need a motion.
Move the ordinance on second reading.
Second.
So now I'd open this up for the public. Anyone that would like to make a comment in reference to these matters concerning handicap parking along High Street and the repeal, please step up to the mic, state your name, your address, and your concerns concerning this. Seeing no one, I close that portion of this meeting. Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perecka Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance on second reading, amending the salary ordinance to amend an existing title's range of compensation for the following. The Recreation Program Coordinator part-time with a minimum of $9 an hour and a maximum of $12.36 an hour. Need a motion?
Move the ordinance.
Second the motion.
Once again, this is open to the public. Anyone that would like to address this item concerning a title recreation program with a minimum wage of $9 per hour, maximum of $12.36 per hour. Please step up to the mic. State your name, your address, and your concerns concerning this on second reading. Seeing no one, I close portion of this meeting concerning item 15.2. Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perecka Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay. And our last ordinance on second reading is an ordinance authorizing the application submitted by Superior Ventures LLC for exemption from taxation for 5 years of the project known as 52,000 square foot warehouse office addition located at 92 Reese Road. Need a motion?
Move the ordinance.
Second the motion.
Once again, I open this up to the public. Anyone that has any concerns or comments concerning Superior Ventures, concerning their warehouse and office addition, please step up to the mic, state your name, your address, and your concerns regarding this ordinance on second reading. Seeing no one, I close this public portion part of the meeting. Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perecka Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. All right, now ordinances on first reading. We have an ordinance amending Chapter 30, Article 9, Zoning Board of Adjustment, Section 85, membership, and Section 86, alternate members, in order to provide that all members of the Zoning Board of Adjustment be appointed by the Board of Commissioners. Currently, they're all appointed by the mayor, I believe. Need a motion?
Move the ordinance, please.
Second.
Any comments? This allows everyone on the commission to have input as to who we put on the zoning board. Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, this motion carries. Next ordinance is an ordinance rescinding Article 10, Noise Pollution Control of Chapter 52, 52-37 through 52-43, as well as Article 21 of Chapter 30, 30-247.8, and replacing said sections with the State of New Jersey Model Noise Ordinance as set forth in new Article 26 of Chapter 52, 52 through 70 through 52 through 81. I need a motion to approve this.
Motion to table.
Motion to table.
Second.
Any comments?
Can't.
No comments, but I do agree.
I think generally there
Wait.
aren't comments on a motion to table, and I can
Okay.
just
Wait.
indicate for the
Yes.
benefit of the board that I did review the ordinance, and I think the section the gentleman is concerned about could be removed from the model ordinance because it's optional. The paragraph that pertains to
Mr. Barrick.
non-residential operators of landscaping equipment.
Okay. All right. So we'll move
It is
that.
possible, just letting you know that.
Okay.
Very good.
Well, is that the only area
That's
we're not
we
allowed
can
to
do.
discuss?
Can't discuss this closing the table.
Can't discuss that.
So do we need to set a new date?
Well, I mean, you can today it's only on the agenda for introduction, so.
Correct. First reading.
You could introduce it and then it could be revised, if that's what you desire, before the next meeting when we would have a public hearing, or we can table it and work on it further.
So, but it's been tabled already, Mr. Attorney.
Well, we didn't vote on it yet.
We
We
did.
can vote no.
No,
I
So
second
do-
the
you didn't.
motion.
It was second, but we haven't voted on it, so we good?
Yeah.
So,
We can vote no, and then we can.
No to table and then reopen it.
Parliamentary question. We could vote no to table it, then we vote to pass it, and then we can amend it before the next meeting.
Yeah, if you want to.
That would stop another month delay getting something done.
Yeah.
all right, so let's go to roll call.
We need to have it, yeah, and this is on the motion to table, so if
Right,
you're
we're
in favor
gonna-
of not tabling it, then.
Correct.
Vote no. Okay, so this is for a motion to table. Commissioner Ennis,
No.
Commissioner Davis,
No.
Commissioner Pareka Campari,
No.
Commissioner Sui,
No.
and Mayor Santiago.
No.
Okay, this motion fails. Okay. So, are we?
I
So
move
we
the ordinance.
reintroduce it
I
now?
move the ordinance on first reading
Okay.
and second reading. Is it January 2nd? The next meeting.
It'll be January 3rd.
January 3rd.
Mhm.
Sir.
Second reading on the 3rd, and we will take into advisement the revisions.
And there would be a public hearing
Okay, I
at that
just
time
need a
as
second
well.
on that motion.
Second. Oh, go ahead.
Commissioner Ennis got that? Okay,
Any comments? Roll call.
We will
Oh, go
take
ahead,
into
Commissioner.
consideration all your concerns and look at the ordinance.
It only makes sense, is like Mr. Barrick said, we don't want to take anyone away from their jobs. So it makes sense that attorney was able to look at that right away and give you an answer. So, roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Pareka Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Our next ordinance is amending Chapter 39, Article 10, Schedule 22, parking time limited for High Street, West Side, 15 minutes, all hours. Need a motion?
I'm going to move it so I can comment on. I'm going to move the ordinance on first reading before I vote.
Second?
Second.
I had a question about it. Can you amend the timeframes when we talked about it in the work session? You said they cannot be varied. Is that a state statute, and that's why it can't be varied?
You're talking about the
Loading
parking
zone,
ordinance,
yeah.
Parking
not
15
the other
minutes.
one,
Right,
Just
because
the-
we had discussed just having it be a loading zone during the show times, which I would think would
Logical.
make more sense and be
Well,
more
you can-
logical.
You can have you need to have a schedule that's fixed. I don't know how you would do it just when there's show times.
I'm wondering why the schedule has to be fixed, though. I think I've seen, is that because of, it has to be in the ordinance, or you can't say on, appropriate show times? You can't do something like that?
I'll have to look into it.
I have another question. Why does the loading have to be on High Street? Are we talking about drop-offs where people
That's
maybe
exactly it.
They want it for
Maybe-
drop-offs.
maybe, so I don't
Yeah.
know if we have the wrong mindset here. If we're just talking about dropping off elderly or somebody right at the front of the business, I don't have a problem with that. If we're talking about large trucks that are dropping off supplies that are going to block High Street, and then I'm fully against that. So I think that needs to be clarified.
But
The problem was, when I was asked to check into this, so I checked into it. We couldn't do a loading and unloading zone for people
Correct.
specifically.
Okay.
So it was a loading and unloading zone, period. It takes about 2 parking places. I understand everybody's concern. I don't see anybody from the legal here saying, hey, we need this, vote for it.
Right.
So we may want to re-examine it
Okay.
and see if there's another way. I was told there wasn't another way to do it, but we can check further and see if we can try something else. Maybe we can figure out a way to, didn't want to like close that part down every time there was a show and go through all the whatever special, baloney we have to go through to
Okay.
shut off 2 parking places when there's a show. But, I wanted to move the ordinance so that we could comment and talk about it in public.
Okay. Any other comments?
Yeah, I have a problem with it if the 2 spaces are sitting there blank all day long. For a show, I have no issue with it. So if there's some way we can get around that or redo the ordinance, can look into it.
Any other comments? Roll call.
All right. Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Peck Campari?
No.
Commissioner Sui?
No.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, we have an ordinance amending Chapter 39, Article 10, Schedule 12, loading zone for the purpose of adding a new loading zone on High Street in front of the Lavoy Theater for a duration of 15 minutes at all times on all days. Need a motion to approve.
Well, to adopt,
To adopt.
introduce rather, not
Introduce.
adopt.
Right.
Yeah.
Motion to adopt?
You have a second? Do we understand what we're doing here?
All you're doing is introducing it,
Correct.
It would have to be voted on at the second hearing to be.
Yeah, we
able
still
to-
have to have a public hearing on it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Peck Campari?
No.
Commissioner Sui?
No.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, moving into resolutions. Item 1, resolution authorizing First Amendment to professional service contract to Baker Tilly Birchall Kraus LLP for forensic accounting services, extending the duration to December 31st, 2016 for an additional amount not to exceed $7,500. May I have a certification of funds?
I move the resolution. I have certification of funds in the amount of $7,500.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
No.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Peck Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Resolution item 2 is authorizing a special assessment of municipal liens for certain properties due to expenses incurred by the city of Millville relating to board and secure properties, plus administrative fees in accordance with Chapter 11, Article 11, R6 of the Municipal Code. I need a motion.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Peck Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 3 is a resolution referring a proposed rehabilitation area designation for the city of Millville to the Millville Planning Board.
Move the resolution?
Second?
Any comments?
I have a comment. This designation is actually a positive for the city. It'll help us to continue with our goal to make it easier for businesses to do business and come to the city. It allows projects to move forward quickly and more efficiently, It'll create more opportunities for business and industry to come here and locate. The planning board must also consider that. We discussed it at the meeting generally, and they'll be looking at it again in the January meeting.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 4 is a resolution approving the City of Millville policies and procedures for locally administered federal aid projects manual.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item is authorizing adjustments to the City of Millville tax and utility records.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 6 is a resolution supporting the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over 2016 year-end holiday crackdown.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Any comments? Obviously, this is a grant for the police department.
Okay. Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 7 is a resolution authorizing change order 1 for project entitled Demolition of 11 Properties with Arbrisco Enterprises Incorporated, Millville, New Jersey, for a decrease in the amount of $5,005.93.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion.
Any comments?
I do. This actually ended up being a decrease in the change order, but we had to switch around the funds a little bit. This property was a constant source of code violations and was on the police list for the demolitions. This demolition was delayed because the Cumberland County Improvement Authority refused to take the debris from this particular demolition if the city was paying the tipping fees. The Improving Authority has allowed the city to pay the fees for other properties, but for some reason not this one, and I don't really know why. So in order to get this property demolished, the contractor had to pay the fees to the Improvement Authority. Now the city has to reimburse the contractor, so we have to do the change order. The Cumberland County Authority fee is the same, whether the contractor pays or the city pays, and this amount was not in the initial bid, and that's why we're doing it this way. I don't know why or how the Cumberland County Improvement Authority makes its decisions. This has been an ongoing issue. It's even more troublesome because the Cumberland County Improvement Authority is supposed to be helping the city with its economic development, and the demolitions are a very important aspect of this to improve the appearance of the city and also its safety.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Our next resolution is authorizing a professional service contract with the Ritter Law Office, 55 Fayette Street in Bridgeton, to act as special counsel to handle landlord-tenant litigation in Superior Court on behalf of the municipality in the amount not to exceed $5,000, and I have a certification of funds.
What's that? Whatever. Move the resolution. I have certification of funds in the amount of $5,000 signed by Marcellus Shepherd.
Second the motion.
Any other comments?
Mr. Ritter's doing a lot of collections right now, also involving the community development block grant lands, which have been a problem, and he's doing an excellent job. This one, when the city foreclosed on this property, it happened to have a tenant in it. The tenant kept on paying the rent to the old owner of the property, so therefore the city now has to take action to get the rent money back.
Anything else? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. All right. Next, we have a resolution authorizing the submission and execution of direct install applications and participation agreements between the City of Millville and Atlantic City Electric to conduct a direct install energy audit of the Millville Fire Department, Police Department, City Hall, Millville Library, and RRCA building.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Any comments?
Yes, this is the first step in applying for the Green Energy Grant that attempt to save us some money in electric bills by, high efficiency units for air conditioning, whatever, LED lights, etc.
Very good. Any other comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perecca Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 10 is a resolution authorizing a third amendment to professional service contract with Malley and Associates of Collingswood, New Jersey. Their special counsel for redevelopment to increase the amount awarded an additional $5,000. And I have a certification of funds, I believe. There we go.
I move the resolution. I have certification of funds in the amount of $5,000.
Any other comments?
Second.
I need a second.
Second?
Second.
Thank you.
Well, you're sleeping on me.
No.
Roll call.
I had a comment.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, you had to do
Go
that
ahead.
first. Mr. Malley's been doing an excellent job for us. He helped with the rehabilitation designation. He's also helped us immensely with redoing the master plan. He's going to continue to help us with the zoning and also to come up with the new redevelopment agreement so that we can hopefully make Millville a little less complicated and a little bit easier to have some economic development start going.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perecca Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 11 is a resolution authorizing a third amendment to professional service contract with Sarah Birdsall of Greenwich, New Jersey, to perform as planning consulting for an additional amount of $3,000. And I have a certification of funds for her.
I have certification of funds before we move the resolution totaling $3,000 signed by our Chief Financial Officer, Marcellus Shepard. Move the resolution, please.
Second.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perecca Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 12, a resolution authorizing a third amendment to professional service contract with Blaney and Caravan to act as special labor counsel for an additional amount of $10,000. And I have a certification of funds.
Move the resolution. I have certification of funds in the amount of $10,000 signed by Marcellus Shepard.
Second.
Any comments?
Yes, I'm not in favor of Mr. Blaney. Reason being that I shared some confidential information with one of his representatives, John Dominy, and that information filtered back to one of our commissioners. I believe that in terms of who represents us and in any capacity, when you're talking about attorneys, it should be strictly confidential because the attorneys represent everyone and not just one or two commissioners. And therefore, I'm not in favor of supporting Mr. Blaney's office. Thank you.
I have a comment. All information shared with attorneys is not confidential, particularly if one were to tell that the attorney that he didn't like the result of an investigation, so therefore he would not be voting for him again. That's all.
I want a clarification on this, Commissioners. When you talk about special labor counsel, does this include the police department?
This is
He just does the administrative part of the building.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we all knew that. Okay.
Yes, Mayor, and if I may, not to prolong anything, but in any capacity, when any breach is in things that are shared from the commissioners, I find that something that we need not take lightly. And for the record, I never stated to him what was stated. What I did state was that when things are spoken in confidence, they should remain in confidence, and when they're not, that could impose a threat to the next contract, and maybe we don't need to contract you again. So that's what was stated, and I'm standing fast on that, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
No.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perecca Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Our next resolution is authorizing the following parcels of land owned by the city to be offered for sale at a public auction. Block 125, Lot 13.04, Block 125, Lot 8, Block 125.01, Lot 15.06. And I need a motion to approve.
Move the motion.
Second.
Okay.
Any Comments?
I need to recuse myself.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Okay, Commissioner Ennis?
No.
Okay, Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, that carries. Okay, the next item is a resolution authorizing a First Amendment to agreement with Benecard Services, providing prescription drug services program for all municipal employees and their eligible dependents, provided through the Public Employer Benefits Trust Alliance prescription drug program for the 2017 contract year in the amount not to exceed $750,484, and I have a certification of funds.
Move the resolution, and I have certification and funds. No, I mean, they didn't add it up for me. In the amount of $750,000. Well, actually, this is more than that.
No.
Anyway,
750,484.
well, that's what this says, but this is more.
Janine?
All right, so which way do we have to do this? By the amount I have
Because it's
certified, which is more, or by the contract is printed in the resolution?
Well, more, we just have to cancel it later, so you can do it by more if you want to do it by more, and that's not, that just encumbers the funds in the budget.
I'm doing what the certification of funds says.
Thank you, Regina.
So I have certification of funds in the amount of $779,000, signed by Marcella Shepard.
Very good.
But then that 20,000 will be tied up all year, right?
No, it's just, we're just certifying that's the amount of funds.
It'll be okay? Okay.
The contract's still issued for
The right amount. Okay. Second.
Thank you, Regina.
Comments?
Comments?
Just wanted everybody to know that the financial department did compare the Benecard with the State Health Benefits Commission plans, and this ended up being cheaper.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 15 is a resolution authorizing a Second Amendment to professional service contract to provide for environmental legal consultant services with Franklin Riesenberger Esquire for an additional amount of $40,000, and I have a certification of funds for that.
I move the resolution. I have certification of funds in the amount of $40,000.
Second the motion.
Any comments?
Yes, Mr. Riesenberg's been doing a very good job for the city. He came on, I think, last year as the environmental attorney. He found out that the city had not been charging the insurance companies for the environmental cleanup since 2012. Found that money for us. He's also working to help us with the historical designation at the airport, and he has also been helping us with the Wheaton property at the entrance of our town. So he's been working with them because the cleanup's been ongoing there for the ponds presently.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perka Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries.
New business, please.
I have a motion to approve the following bingo license applications, one on the behalf of the parish of All Saints and one on behalf of St. Mary Magdalene Regional School Alumni Association.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perka Campari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
And Mayor Santiago?
Yes. We've now reached the public comment portion of this meeting. Anyone who would like to address the commission, please go to the podium, state your name, your address, and your concern, and please limit your comments to approximately 5 minutes. Hey, commissioners, can we wait till the end to answer questions? You can write them down. I'd rather wait till the end to answer questions.
George Martin,
Mr. Martin?
Oak Street. It was good to see so many police here this evening. Now I'm going to talk about the trash police. Last month, I received a notice of violation. The specific violation was that I put my trash at curbside before 5 o'clock. I have never put my trash out more than 24 hours prior to pickup. I bought 2 huge containers with lids to ensure that stray cats, squirrels, and birds do not scatter my trash. I usually set out my trash during daylight hours, the afternoon, the day before pickup. This time of the year, it's almost dark at 5 o'clock. My neighbor is 90 years old, and he uses a walker. His daughter sometimes puts his trash out on her lunch break. The neighbor next door does the same thing on his lunch break. I suppose he's got a letter too. I don't know for sure. I met with Commissioner Suey about changing the time of this ordinance. He told me he would check on this and get back to me. Well, so far I haven't heard a thing.
It was a great event, and I really appreciate your support very, very much. I did want to touch on the Lavoie parking space again. I don't know that it's being considered, and I would assume that you're considering this. To make a special loading zone is more than just some paint and a sign. It would require enforcement. Somebody parks there and stays there, I would assume somebody has to check on that, which requires services. I would assume a police officer would be called if the Lavoie felt somebody was parked there too long. So once again, that's more money that's going to come from the city, less services, and I would hate to see our police department responding to something so petty as somebody was parked too long in a parking space in front of our fancy Lavoie. I think that our command vehicle is more than enough services for them. I don't think that they deserve or that I can afford to give them anything more than we're already giving them. It's enough. Please, it's enough. Third thing, rental units. 2 in particular. Back at the end of November, there was a fire on 2nd Street. 5 units, 3 were boarded up. 1 family was in the home and they were displaced. Further investigation of that property comes to find out that they're behind on their taxes and quite behind on their water sewer bill. Makes me question, why do they even have the license to rent? Today, there was a fire on 3rd Street. 4 units, according to the newspaper. I don't know the exact address, so I couldn't look up if there's back taxes or water due. 21 people live in that home, according to the paper. It's a very small home from the outside that I could see.
What was the address again? I'm sorry.
On 3rd Street?
That was
It just
this
says
afternoon.
that was
I
this
know
afternoon,
it's
700 block of 3rd
I think
Street.
721.
So, according to the paper, 21 people, at least 8 people lived in 1 unit, according to the paper. 2 adults, 4 children in the 1 unit. That's a serious issue to me. It's a serious issue that these units are potentially overpopulated. They're not paying their taxes to the city. They're not paying their water, and yet they're permitted to profit. And I think that's wrong. Landlords, everyone has a right to make a living, but not at the expense of the city. Not at the expense of everyone else. You can make a profit, but not when you're putting people's lives in danger or destroying the quality of lives of the neighboring homes. And 2 fires and 2 rental units, both in Center City within less than a month's time, and potentially overpopulation of 1, over occupancy of 1. Those are serious issues. So that's all I just wanted to address again. Thank you again, Commissioner Davis.
Thank you.
I'm Amy Cook. I live on 7th Street. I have complained to the police many times about speeding on 7th Street. Since you guys repaved it, it's really become a speedway. I estimate people are going 40 and 50 miles an hour down my street. I can hear them shift their souped-up cars into at least fourth gear. So it's insane how much speeding there is, and I've spoken to the traffic department, and it just seems like maybe there's a little enforcement. I would really love some more enforcement, and I think you could really make some money writing a lot of traffic tickets, because it's really out of control and it's dangerous. And there was also a dog that was killed on the other end of 7th Street. So I don't know. If there's anything you could do to help me, I would appreciate it.
Thank you, Amy.
Yeah.
I just wanted, Kim Cardy, like you don't know. Two things I wanted to kind of address real quick. With regards to the rental units that Ms. Brumal spoke about, I've been really curious about this since the first fire brought to my attention the particular landlord, or maybe not the landlord, but at least the address of that particular landlord. That address shows up in our tax records about 30 times. That particular address is $104,000 liens. $104,000 in liens. And when you add up the sewer, water, and taxes that are outstanding that haven't been liened on yet, you're looking at another $21,000. So all told, we're looking at $250,000 at one particular address. One address in the city, a landlord. Now, there are multiple LLCs. You know how that goes. Who knows who they are? I have my suspicions, as my Oprah request. I'm sorry, whoever's filling that. But I appreciate your time on that one. But I'd really like to understand why we allow that to happen. Often, the folks that are renting these units are our most vulnerable citizens that will always have a voice to advocate for themselves, and I think that you as a governing body and we as the citizens of the city owe those individuals a little bit more of our attention. So one of the things I'd like to propose, and I briefly talked to Commissioner Davis about this over the weekend, is in Mount Laurel, in Washington Township, and in Audubon, each one of those municipalities have within their ordinance, within their municipal code, an ordinance that reads, "No rental unit may be registered and no license shall issue for any property containing a rental unit unless all municipal taxes and all other municipal assessments are paid by the owner or applicant and are current on the date of the application." Meaning that owner needs to pay off those liens in order to get that rental registration. And that's really important. We have 21 people displaced today. I'm going to guarantee that person, whoever owns that property, if they're not this particular address, I could almost roll the dice and tell you what address they're going to come back to. We have a handful of landlords in this city that we'd like to be able to throw the dart and say that they're Section 8 or that they're those people. It's not those people. We have a handful of landlords in the city that don't care about you and I, and we need to stop them. That's number one. So if you could please consider that ordinance and codifying that, I think that would be a huge step forward in the city in being able to control these rogue landlords. If we could go back to the parking ordinance real quick. I know you passed it. I'm hoping really so that we can have a discussion about it more than to pass the ordinance to allow the Levoy to have all these nice benefits. I understand that there's a public safety issue at hand in terms of when they have shows being able to safely unload and load passengers, particularly those who might have some access or functional need. And I think we need to be able to support that. But I think there's other ways to support that versus taking 1, 2, 5, 6 parking spots off of the landscape that can't be utilized when there's not a show. So I was kind of digging around on this today because, I have nothing better to do with a full-time job and 3 kids and a school board, whatever. I'm talking as a resident, not a school board member. Let's just make that clear. I have issues. I have research issues. The city of Long Branch actually has within their ordinance, they call it a temporary suspension of parking restrictions that allows, in this case, the Director of Public Safety to authorize suspending parking restrictions temporarily based on circumstances. We don't have anything like that in our ordinance. So rather than designating a parking spot and taking it off the landscape and hurting the citizens who shop High Street, we'd like to keep them happy. And the business owners that are currently doing business on High Street, I'd like to keep them happy too. Maybe we need to look at a different way of being able to address the public safety need at the Lavoie, allowing them to get what they need from us as a city, protecting public safety, but doing it in a slightly different way. So I'd encourage you to look into that.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
Good evening, Commissioners. Steve Latour, 218 East Main Street. I just wanted some clarity on the ordinance regarding the zoning board and the appointment. Currently, the mayor appoints the members. So when would this go into effect? And how would it affect the currently sitting members? Should it pass? I'm saying.
It would not go into effect until it's adopted, and that would be number one. And number two, it wouldn't affect anybody that's on the board.
Okay.
It would, as people's terms expire,
Right.
then it would change the way people would be selected at that point.
Okay. Thank you.
So the second reading will be on January 3rd.
Okay. Thank you. Have a
Okay.
good night. Merry Christmas.
Thank you,
Same
sir.
to you. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Paul Bonney, 2633 South 2nd Street. I just want to share something totally different with everybody. One is that I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and no symptoms whatsoever. It went into my bones. So guys, PSA, get it checked because you have no symptoms. So just to clarify that, but just to add what that did to me is that New Jersey Motorsports Park stood by me through my chemo. It kicked my butt, but they were there for me. I appreciate it, guys. And it's a great company to work for. It supports my family. Unfortunately, doctor bills comes in with illnesses, and it's crazy, out of hand. But I am a maintenance director there, and I have 10 guys that work for me in my department, and they're all employed by them, and they depend on this company. And I've been there since day one, 2008, when we opened up the first track. And I tell you, my living depends on this company. So I just want to go on record to say it's a good thing for Millville. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Bonney, if I can you stay there? I think we all deserve to give you a round of applause because cancer isn't an easy thing to beat, and you did it, so congratulations.
Thank you. And just to say, the power of prayer does
Absolutely.
work because it helped me because I was stage 4, and it got me through that, and now my PSA is undetectable.
Congratulations. The best. Anyone else? Seeing no one else, I close the public portion part of this meeting. Comments of commissioners. Commissioner Davis.
Yes, the parking ordinance, the first reading that we moved tonight, it was just to move it to the second reading, be a public hearing at the time. Maybe we'll find a way of amending it somehow. In the meantime, I think it probably will open up a can of worms with other business requests, up and down High Street. So we'll be taking a second look at it, that's for sure. The Phenom Factory, Christine Mikowski and her staff put on a fantastic event last weekend, and they helped 20 families in need. And that's just some of the wonderful things going on in Millville. And there's just a small group of volunteers, and the Phenom Factory and their staff really put on a great event. And maybe they brought a little cheer and happiness to some of these families in need over the holiday season. Thank you.
Good job. Commissioner Ennis.
Progress, Mayor.
Commissioner Sui.
Many times I meet with residents throughout the weeks between commission meetings, and I try to return every phone call, take all the meetings, send back all the emails, and sometimes it takes time to resolve a situation or to reach an agreement so that I can get a situation resolved. So just because I don't get back to you in a week or 2 weeks doesn't mean I'm not working on something. It means it takes time. So I just want everybody to understand that. Also with the parking ordinance, again, I agree with Bill. I think it needs to be changed. I voted no in this instance until it gets changed. So with that, progress.
Thank you. Commissioner Perry.
Yeah, so we're finally making some headway on the demolitions that have been pending for the past year. 712, 714 Buck Street are down. So our 301, 303 Green Street. The Mulberry Street properties, there's 3 there. They were started on today. So that's all progress. Still pending are 1015 North Street, 553 Columbia Avenue, 16 West McNeil Street, and 816 Archer Street. So most of those properties were on the police list, so we're hoping that helps their department, and it definitely should help the appearance of the town. In closing, also, I would like to say I do listen to the comments that everyone comes up here and makes. I'm happy to say that the mayor and Chief Arabella and I, we did discuss the walking patrols that were requested in other neighborhoods, and we were able to look at the budget without changing the taxes or causing any increase, and we did find money to fund that. So hopefully sometime in the near future that will be occurring. And with that, progress.
Thank you. Kim, great idea. Thank you. We'll definitely look into that. As everyone else has said, it was just the first reading. We'll definitely look into it a little bit deeper. The other comment about us police officers taking time from us, that's part of a police officer's job and description. If he gets a call because of a parking complaint, he has to respond. So that's part of what we do as law enforcement. So I don't see it as an extra thing. As the commissioner just mentioned, along with the chief and our CFO, there is money that we're able to allocate into the police department so we can have some extra patrols. And we're going to continue to do that. A lot of people have told me, are you going to stop just because of Christmas? Are you going to stop just because of High Street? No, we're going to continue that. I'm glad that Kim stood up and spoke about High Street. High Street is very important to the city of Millville. Not just the Leroy. There's a lot of other places there that help us with ratables. They're out there. We're getting our customers out there. Myself, I enjoy High Street. I don't want to mention all the restaurants I go to because I don't want to miss one and they'll get mad at me. But I think that the plan that we have within the police department, I'm glad the chief is here. We sat down for a long meeting a few days ago, actually 2 days, 2 meetings, and we're going to come up with a strategic plan that's going to help our center city. And you're going to see that in effect. I'm also happy to see a lot of people from New Jersey Motorsports here. And Mr. Bonney, I tell you what, I wish you the best, sir. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know about those bills. Been there, done that. So I wish you the best. But New Jersey Motorsports, I think, is a big supporter of the city of Millville. Look what they did today for PAL. Okay? They're out there giving money for our youth. I think that's very important. With this commission, I'm very proud of what we're doing right now. We apologize for coming out a little bit late, but there were some things that we really needed to look at, that we really had to put our heads together to resolve, or at least get to the point where we can resolve some issues, and I think we did a great job. So thank you, commissioners, for that meeting. With that, can I get a motion to adjourn? Can I get a second? Second. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming. Be safe, come home, and Merry Christmas.